All right. Once again, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Mekakwadash. A double honors be unto the apostles and years a great millstone. To all the Akims worldwide, I want to say shalom be unto you. This is the word from the GMS.com. Just as a quick edification, three spirits and power of the Most High, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai. My edification is entitled The Importance of Giving Alms. The importance of giving alms. When I think about it, I don't really go into the word itself, alms. Let me just go into it real quick. Because, the scripture did talk about giving alms and the importance of it. So I just want to bring in real quick before we start the meaning overall of alms. I'll start with Acts chapter 10. And verse 1. Actually, I'll just jump into verse 2 just to get the meaning of alms so we can draw a point. And so we see
Strong's G 1654 Ele Masune. Ele Masune.
Which means mercy, pity, especially as exhibiting and giving alms, charity, So, having mercy, having pity for what? For the poor, for your brethren, giving charity among the poor. The importance of giving alms. And that's what we want to touch on, having mercy, having pity. So, jump straight into it. So we go into Tobit chapter 4 and verse 10. It says, because that alms do deliver from death and suffer not. So, I want to start at verse 7 coming down. It said, give alms of thy substance, and when thou givest alms, let not thy eye be envious, neither turn thy face from the poor, and the face from power, Yahweh Bashem Yeshai, shall not be turned away from thee. And we know the poor is the poor men among your brethren, among your camp, men who serve in the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yeshai, who call it upon that name, Give alms, give alms of your substance to these people. And verse 8, if thou hast abundant, give alms accordingly. If thou hast but a little, be not afraid to give according to that little. For thou layest up a good treasure for thyself against the day of necessity. Verse 10, because that alms do deliver from death, and suffer not to come into darkness. So there is an importance of giving alms, and alms don't just go about to someone who have, because it also said give alms accordingly. If thou hast a little, you give little. If thou hast much, give much. But the important is you can never forget in giving alms. Verse 11. For alms is a good gift unto all that give it in the sight of the Most High. Hey, you're not going to give alms to say that you will get favor alone, but it's just according to the scriptures and according to righteousness. There's a great importance in giving alms in the sight of the Most High. Give. Tobit chapter 12 and verse 9. It says, I saw that verse 8 actually, going on to 9. It says, prayer is good with fasting and alms and righteousness. A little with righteousness is better than much with unrighteousness. It is better to give alms than to lay up gold, Alms do deliver from death, and shall purge away all sins. Those that exercise alms and righteousness shall be filled with life. Hey, alms, having pity, given to the poor, having mercy is an important part of your routine as a member of Great Millstone, as a member practicing to try to be part of the hopeful saints, And when you really look into the word alms, again, you see it's having mercy, having pity. And those two things is everything that we practice from day to day, in our journey on this truth of the Most High Hashem. Every day we try to practice mercy, every day we try practicing pity. So when it comes about to giving alms, that word alms, you should understand ultimately the true meaning of it. Mercy, pity. So with that in your mind currently or all the time, you will come to a conclusion. Anytime you hear anything to do with alms, you should know right away, hey, this is pity, this is mercy I given here, boy. Tobit chapter 14 and verse 11, it says, Wherefore now, my son, consider what alms doeth, and how righteousness do deliver. When he had said these things, he gave up his ghost in bed, being 108 and 50 years old, and buried him honorably. So this was a man in his dying bed saying, hey, alms is very important to give. And that was his last words. Pity and mercy is very important to give. Not just pity and mercy when someone transgress or pass against you, but pity and mercy when you have the power in your hand to give it without having to receive anything. And that's what Yahushua did to us overall. And that's why we still accept it up to this day. Pity and mercy. So Sirach chapter 12 and verse 3, it says, There can no good come to him that is always occupied in evil, nor to him that giveth no alms. Because if you don't give alms, how you want good to come? If the Most High every day constantly blessing you with life, blessing you with substances, whether it be great, whether it be small, and you don't want to take part of your substance and give back, how will you expect anything to go good with you? That's just being wicked. You have a lot, you give a lot. You have little, you give little. Sirach chapter 29 and verse 12. Shut up alms in thy storehouses. And when you go to Malachi, it says, well, bringing all the tithes into his store, that there shall be food in my house. Roughly paraphrasing. So the storehouse in the camp or in anything to do with Great Millstone will come back down to the treasury, which is set up for a reason. To have pity on the men in the camp in the day of affliction, and also to have pity and mercy when it comes to the apostles, because that's our duty, giving that alms, giving our tithes or whatever it may be. Yeah, lay up thy treasure according to the commandments. Yeah, so chapter 29 verse 12. Actually, I'll go up to verse 9 and come down. It says, Help the poor for the commandment's sake, and turn him not away because of his poverty. Lose thy money with thy brother and thy friend, and let it not rust on their stone to be lost. You lose your money with your brethren. It's better to lose your money with your brethren than to lose it in the system of Esau, or this wicked ass kingdom overall. 11. Lay up thy treasure according to the commandments of the Most High, and it shall bring thee more profit than coal. Shut up arms in thy storehouses, and it shall deliver thee from all affliction. And that's why it's good to invest in the treasury. Because when you put it in the day of affliction, you could pull it back out. You know? The importance of giving alms is very important. As a man of the Lord, Sirach chapter 40 and verse 24. It says, brethren and help are against time of trouble, but alms shall deliver more than them both. Pity, mercy, given to the poor, will deliver. And just to show that it's a righteous act overall, when you go to Acts chapter 10 and verse 2, it says, start at 1. There was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band, a devout man, one that feared Yahweh Bashem Yeshai with all his house, and give much alms to the people, and pray to God always. You know? And this man was a devout man. So in all righteousness, having mercy to the poor, having pity to the poor, is practicing righteousness. So the word alms really just goes back to righteousness. To practice in righteousness, that is. So, you know, the importance of giving alms. Never forget it. So I hope this was edifying to you. You know, with that, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Hashem Yeshai, Mashem Kakonash. He double answer me until the apostles and years of witness done. To all the Akiams worldwide, I say shalom be unto you. It's the word from HMS camp. Once again, hey, shalom to the elect. Shalom.